Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, so the good news is that together, like our collective efforts, our impact has reached over 5,600 quid. So please, Queen, just give yourself a round of applause. Yes, like give yourself some love emojis. Please let that emoji keep popping up. Together, we've impacted like more than 5,600 people. Some of them are teenagers that they don't even know what to do. Some of them are children, orphanage, you know, adult home. Like, give yourself some love emoji. Yeah, you did this. We did this. Well done, Queen. Yes, 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 yes. We did it. We did it. Yes. Well done, everyone. Well done, well done, well done. Yes, thank you for that. Yeah, well done, everyone. Yeah. So, quick announcement. Yeah, I know some of us will get partnership for our projects, and we like to appreciate those people that support us, either by giving you, money. I went to some of our reports. Some they gave you some, some bought t-shirts for some of your team members. Some, one, support in one way or the other. Even, appreciating for those of us that reach out to schools, appreciating the schools for giving us the permission to go to come and come and execute our project there. So we don't want the relationship to end there. So I don't know, maybe next week a template will be sent out that we can use to send a thank you message to them. Yeah, if you have their email address, you can just you know send it to their email. And also, if you don't have their email address and the place is not that kind of far, or you have your team members that live closer to that place, you can just ask team member to deliver your thank you to them. So in that thank you, we have the impact that they help you to make. Yeah, some of us, based on that school, you've impacted like 500, 200, 150 students and etc. Like, let them see the impact you've made. So maybe when next you have something great to do, they will be so eager, right, to give you chance to also come again next time. Yeah, so that is that about that. Thank you so much. Or you know that I love you all. Yes, I love you all. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So yeah, let's move to today business. Yeah. So please give me a few so I can share my screen. So the day is basically on, just I was like, what will I give to my queen, my heart media ambassadors? Yeah, so this one is supposed to be for our, yes, the official ambassadors, but I was like, all of us, yes, let me make this open to everyone that executed that project that we execute so that they can learn how they can make use of this experience, to access group opportunities. So please, I'm begging us, do not leave the score because you don't know, maybe your takeaway will be towards the end of the section. So please, I'm begging of, don't leave the call. If you have any of your friends, any of your team members that are not yet on this call, go and nudge them. They're about to miss something great. Yes, I'm telling you, they're about to miss something great, but not in this section. So go and nudge them in your respective team group that join the section, okay? So please give me a few. Yeah, so I can, share my screen. Okay. Can we all see my screen now? Is my screen showing?
No, not yet.
Okay, sorry. Let me try again. What about now?
It's still coming. Yeah, you are now.
Okay.
We can see now.
Right, thank you so much. Can you still see my screen?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, so welcome again, everyone. Welcome again to this powerful section. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of insight for you. You're going to learn a lot. So welcome to your free training as your perk of executing IWD projects, effect of being our IWD ambassadors. Yes. So I welcome you all and I'm glad to have you all join this section. And as I said, I promise it's going to be so great and powerful because somebody great is on the call and is our speaker today. Yes. So. Introduction. I'm going to be introducing our speaker to us right now and be reading our his bio to us. Yes. So our speaker for today is our topic first. Yes. So the topic we'll be having today is accessing global opportunities. Yes. Accessing global opportunities. So we've all gone out there, to impact lives. We've all gone to school, distribute books, borrow everything to students, gone to orphanage home to give them essential materials that they need. We've all gone to adult home to do something great, meaningful impact. So how can you use this to access global opportunities? How can use this to tell your story very well for you to get selected for a scholarship, fellowship, a conference, or even batching an award, yes, as a leader, as an impact. So that's why we are here today. And then our speaker is Ndubuisi Success Ifeanyichukwu. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Seb. I'm not calling your name very well. I'm so sorry. So yes, Success is a master student at Rhodes University, where he's studying under the Mandela Rhodes Foundation fully funded scholarship. Do you guys take note of that? Fully funded scholarship at the Institute of Water Research. He is an educational enthusiast and someone who is devoted to the SDG 4, which is also what we are doing here at Africa Agility. Okay, so through his research, Success aims to offer insights and biotech- biotechnological driving solution to the issue of microplastic pollution. So, if you're ready and you want me to bring Success up right now, so please let's use that emoji to welcome him to the stage and comment welcome sir in the chat. Yes. Welcome. Okay, thank you all, thank you all. You see, we have a great person in our midst today, a scholar. Yes, we're going to be learning a lot from him. Yes, thank you, Queen. Yes. That's why I'm saying that those that are not in the day meeting, they've missed a lot. Yes. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Queen. Yeah, so Success, please you have the floor now. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Pelumi, for your time. Thank you for bringing me into this call. Before I proceed, I just want to confirm that being heard clearly.
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
All right, so good afternoon to every one of you on this call. My name is Success, as Shirafli said. Happy to be here. I get to do this every now and then, because I believe that as Africans, we deserve opportunities to showcase our abilities, to show our skills on a global platform. And this is why this call is necessary as well. So today I'm going to be speaking about how to access global opportunities, but my main focus will be more about shaping our minds, shaping our mentality, knowing what to do, what not to do, and in regards to preparing for accessing these opportunities. So the first thing that I want to do is just a little bit of exercise. And I want each one of us to just type in the chat when you hear that, or let me say, if you hear the phrase global opportunity, what's the first thing that comes to mind? You hear the word global opportunity, what's the first thing that comes to mind? So I think that's a good place to start from. So you can make use of the chat box to just quickly um, share your thoughts. Okay. Someone said networking. Someone said fellowships, scholarships, conferences, remote jobs. Okay. International connections. Beautiful. Okay. Keep it coming. Somebody said to Japa. Okay. Working internationally, international scholarship.
Wow.
Yeah, international opportunities. The person that said Japan is actually quite funny, but yeah, yeah. So a lot of us are, anchoring on scholarships, and truly, without doubt, scholarships are like one of the most known pathways when it comes to moving from where you are in your home country into another country to access opportunities. It's like one of the most common, you understand? Because when you have access to fundings like fully funded scholarship, you just have, these on the platter of gold, you are basically being paid for and catered for to come into a new country to study. Yeah. So, but before we go into all that, I'm glad that this gathering is a gathering of people who have chosen to become leaders, people who have committed themselves to leaving societal impact. So that means that, I have a bit less of work to do when it comes to speaking about leadership because um, I do tell people whenever I have the opportunity to speak that global opportunities, of which I'll be speaking mainly on scholarships today, it's an investment, not a gift. Yeah. If whenever you hear that someone won a scholarship, someone got access to funding, it's an investment. Even when someone's research gets funded, it's an investment. It's an investment into that person's research because the funders are believing that at the end of that research, there's going to be something groundbreaking. There's going to be a product. There's going to be an invention. There's going to be an improvement. There's going to be a solution, So all this is what make them look at it and be like, oh, this research is something I can pour my money into and invest in it. It's the same thing with scholarships as well. When you get awarded a scholarship, it's because they see a potential in you, either as a leader, either as a scholar. They believe in your abilities and they felt like, okay, you're worth the money because scholarships are quite a huge amount of money. And when you talk about international scholarships as well, you know that, oh, these people are actually investing a lot to invest in your education. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. I'm going to share my screen so that you are able to follow along. So please, if or when you are able to see my screen, just let me know. Okay. Um, all right. So please, if you can see my
Yeah, we
screen,
can see.
kindly. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah,
Thank
yes,
you.
yes.
Thank you. So today I'm going to be talking on two things. First is the topic which is on ground today, accessing global opportunity. And I'll also be making reference to the Mandela Rhodes Foundation Scholarship because I believe that for a leadership community like yourself, it's actually a scholarship that's perfect for you guys. So I don't know, can you see this tab I just switched to? I just want to confirm that you can see both tabs, the, both this first one and the other one.
Yes, please, we can.
Okay, so I'll just get started with this. So today, I'll be talking about how you can position yourself for global opportunities and on how you can unlock a world of scholarships, grants, and transformative experiences. So, but before we go into that, you have to consider why global opportunities matters. Why does it matter? Why can't you just stay in your home country and just be relaxed there? Why can't you just stay in Nigeria and, just do what you have to do? Because of course, Nigeria needs a lot of work. Nigeria needs people who are devoted to creating solutions. Why is it necessary for, us to access this global opportunity? So the first one is to expand your horizons. That's the first reason. You have to expand your horizons. You will bear witness with me that there's certain kind of information that you would not know except you interact with people. And right now, I'm not even speaking of it as in an international level. I'm actually speaking locally right now. There are certain kind of things you won't know. There's certain kind of information that you won't access until you've had conversations with people who have actually experienced that. Talk about cultures, talk about beliefs, talk about perspective, talk about ideologies. There are some things that you definitely don't know until you've met someone from there. So it's the same thing when it comes to associating with people outside your confines, outside your area, outside your state, outside your country. You get insights into things that you previously thought, didn't exist. You understand? You get more insight into cross-cultural beliefs. You get more insight into ideologies that you would ordinarily not have known. That's why there's a thing called culture shock, because something that it's normal in your country, when you go outside Nigeria, outside your home country, you start to discover that, oh, this is actually not normal. This is not the way these people behave, because human beings, as simple as we are, we're actually very complex. You get. So the next reason why global opportunity matters is to develop essential skills. Global opportunities help you to enhance leadership skills, adaptability skills, problem-solving skills in diverse environments. Another reason is for you to build a global network. And from the chat, I saw quite a number of people mention networking as part of what comes to mind whenever they hear global opportunities, which is right. Building a global network is actually something you need, especially if you're someone who is looking to have an impact that spread beyond the confines of just that community. Because yes, you can actually be impactful in your community, but there's so much more you can do. Let's say that in your community now, you're trying to solve the problem of the stigma against the girl child not accessing education. Because as funny as it sounds, there's places in Nigeria, there's places in Africa, especially in the northern parts of Nigeria, where this is still a norm, where you see people would say, why are they training their female children to school? The female child is going to end up in the husband's house, is going to end up in the kitchen. So why would they need to waste their money to train them? You hear this kind of things, and you just be like, nah, there's still a lot of work that is cut out for us. So accessing these global opportunities give you the platform to take your impact just beyond the scope of your community. Gives you the platform to take this a step further. You understand? Because starting is great. How you start your work, whatever it is you're focusing on. Some people are focusing on FGM. Some people are focusing on female violence. Some people are focusing on advocacy against cultism, menstrual health, awareness, and all that. All those are beautiful. But for you to take this a step further, you know that for one, you need funding. Number two, you need exposure. So getting access into these global opportunities are going to provide you two of these things. Number one, the funding you need to take your initiative from level 1 to level 2, level 3, level 4, and it gives you the exposure. It gives you the platform to be able to advocate for these things you stand for, whether depending on the SDG you are on, if it's 1, if it's 2, if it's 3, if it's 4, 5, it just gives you that platform. And you'd see the difference in the amount of impact you can make when you started and the amount of impact you are able to make once you've accessed these global opportunities. Yeah, so these four reasons encompassed together is what makes accessing the global opportunities actually necessary. You understand? As a people in Africa that we are still growing, as people in Africa who are still challenged by a lot of factors, we still have underlying issues that we are still trying to deal with. It's imperative for us to actually consider ways to make our voice louder. Yeah. So moving on to the next slide now. We're going to talk about scholarships, grants, fueling your ambition. Okay. So financial barriers now are one of the things that limits ambitions. I've met quite a number of people. And just to give you a bit of context, I grew up in the northern part of Nigeria, even if I'm Igbo by tribe. I was born and bred in the north. And the part of the north I grew up in, I met quite a number of people, let me say quite a lot of people who, are forced into the Almajiri system because their parents couldn't care less about their education. It's just like a thing, you know. You look around you, there are many people who don't go to school. There are many people who would want to go to school, but they don't have the funding. People who will go to school and then drop out, in the middle of it because, they just know that they have no hope to finish what they started. So, and it's quite disheartening, to be honest. And even for um those of us who might have not grown up in the North, I'm sure that you might have seen this around you. Some of us are actually even experiencing it. You understand? Some of us are actually studying courses that we might have not have liked. Number one, because maybe of pressure. Number two, because the funding you would have needed to study what you actually had in mind was not available to you. Many of us are still in Nigeria thinking about the next step, whether you want to do a master's, you want to do a postgrad, or you just want to sit down and wait for work because there's no money. And it's true. There's no money. Because for you to take the next step to either uh, build up your business, build up your initiative, take your NGO to the next level. You actually need money. So most times passion is not enough, motivation is not enough. You might have all the motivation in the world, but if you're not able to convince someone to believe in you, if you're not able to convince someone to believe in your dreams, and you're not able to access the funding, it's really going to be almost impossible for you to make progress in that regard. You just find yourself frustrated and you start to believe that something is wrong somewhere. I don't know, is somebody trying to speak?
Sorry, sir. I'm going to meet them for now. Sorry.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Please, you muted the speaker.
Yeah,
We can't hear Balumi. Sorry, we can't hear him.
yeah, I just unmuted myself now. Can you hear
All
me
right.
now?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
All right, yeah. So as I was saying, so financial barrier is actually a big thing that limits a lot of people's dreams. And it's sad because when you hear people talk, for me, I'm a kind of person that likes to listen to people. When I have conversations with people, I'm like, oh, what are you up to? What are you doing? What would you like to do? What's the problem that you feel like if you have the power to solve, you will hear amazing ideas. You would hear things that people actually want to do, but the problem is no funding. Even in academia as well, it's the same thing. No funding. So the purpose of this webinar is just to bring into your light the fundings that are available, how you can access them, how you can position yourself for them. So I'm going to focus on scholarships, and then hopefully with time on my side, I'll be able to just touch a bit about research grants, because I feel like research grants are actually quite straightforward. There's research-based scholarships and also fellowships as well. So, but scholarships, I feel it's what gives like quite a big amount of funding. For instance, now the Mandela Rhodes Foundation offers at least like around $28,000 in funding. So it's something that if you look on, you'll be like, okay, this is sufficient for you. It's going to help you even through school, and if you're someone that knows how to save after school as well. So scholarships basically, for those who aren't really familiar with scholarships. Scholarships are like fundings that are directed towards students, intended scholars that want to pursue a field. It may be undergraduate, it may be postgraduate, depending on what you want to do. And there are some for vocational studies as well. Most scholarships, or let me say quite a number of scholarships, are fully funded, meaning that they pay for your tuition at the university you're going to, they pay for your living expenses, they pay for your travel costs, health insurance, some of them cover your visas and conferences and whatever it is. So using the Mandela Rhodes again for example, Mandela Rhodes Foundation is fully funded. They cover for your flights, both from your home country and to your home country at the end of your program. They pay for your tuition. They give you living allowances. They pay for your medical insurance. They have these retreats 3 times in a year. They cover the cost of that, flights, everything. And if you want to travel for a conference, an international conference, to present your work, present your paper, they pay for that as well. And they also pay for your research if you are doing a research-based program. So it's a scholarship that is truly, truly all-encompassing. So, but the major problem with scholarships like this is that it's very competitive, because trust me, you're not the only one that needs money. Yeah. So coming from Nigeria, I happen to work with a foundation, RTF, Rhodes Educational Foundation. And anytime we open the scholarship and we've seen amounts of applicants we get per year, we'll just be like, bro, people are really in need of money. You understand? So things with this kind of scholarships, that they are very competitive. They get applicants in their thousands every year, some tens of thousands, and you just have to make sure that you know what you're doing. You are very intentional about the application, and you are very specific about what you want, how you present your essay to be able to get access to that funding. So I'm going to be using the Mandela Rhodes as a template. So the reason I'm doing this is because I mentioned specificity as something that is important when it comes to scholarship applications. You have to be specific. You have to know what the scholarship is looking for and apply it to your application. You understand? So that's something you just have to know. That's something you just have to know. So I'm just going to switch the presentation slide. I'll come back to this slide, but I'll just switch the presentation slides to this so that we can build on that. So using this Mandela Rhodes Scholarship as a template, I'll give you an idea of how scholarship works, how you should think when you're applying, and what the kind of pitfalls to avoid. So, okay, just give me a second. All right. Okay, so what is the Mandela Rhodes Scholarship? Mandela Rhodes Scholarship, it's a life-changing journey. It's a scholarship that balances leadership and education, meaning that they are looking for young leaders like yourselves on this chat who are committed to impacting community, impacting people around them, and who are also committed to furthering their education. So for this meeting now, I would say, okay, you guys are people who are committed to community projects. You guys are people who are devoting yourself to this. So they are looking for people like you who have shown exemplary leadership. They're looking for people like you who have shown selflessness in aspect of looking after others when they don't really have it all. You understand? Because truly, even when I was in doing my undergrad in Nigeria, and I devoted my time to helping students, to for mentorship, and helping, and all these initiatives I had going on then. I really didn't have enough, to be honest. Like financially, I wouldn't say I was great. I was struggling. If I'm going to be quite honest, I was a struggling guy. But I felt like the little privilege I got, in terms of getting some funding from scholarships here and there, I'm like, why not use it to help people? And it's one of the reasons I even volunteered at the Rhodes Educational Foundation at first. So I just felt like, okay, I'm in this position. There are people who need me. And even if it's not an aspect of financial help, there are other ways I could help people. There are other ways I could contribute to my community. There are other ways I could, make an impact. And I was not even doing this for the purpose of my CV or to build portfolio or whatever. And at this point, I have to make mention of, intent matters. Your motivation matters. And things like this, things like, scholarships like this, funding opportunities like this, they have the capacity to expose you. Because if you don't get exposed in the essay writing, you are definitely going to get exposed in the interviews, because they want to understand your motivation. Because to them, your motivation is key to determine the kind of person you are and why you're actually doing what you're doing. Because some people, they do all these things, but they don't do it because they want to. They do it because it will look good for maybe the camera, it will look good for their CV, to look good for their portfolio. They just want to do things to please them, their ego, to please themselves, and to just make themselves feel like, oh, they are doing good. You understand? But when you are faced with the test of why are you actually doing what you're doing, they fall short. They don't actually know why they are doing what you're doing. I'll take an example. If I were to ask someone, I don't know if someone on the call here is into advocacy against FGM. If someone on the call is, I'd just like you to please just unmute yourself and tell me why it is you're doing what you're doing. Just a rough idea.
When you are into female genital mutilation, yeah. So please quickly unmute and speak. Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me? Good
Yeah,
evening to you.
good evening to you.
So my name is Anab Abdi from Kenya,
Okay.
specifically a place called Garissa. So I'm not an advocate against FGM, but I want to start because this thing it's bad, yeah. It's bad, and it's like it's it's taking the rights of women, because if you see most of the children, this thing is being done to them without even their consent.
Mm,
So I was planning on starting to fight against it.
okay. That's a good motivation, because from her point of view now, she's speaking against FGM from the point of empathy. So her core reason why she wants to go into advocacy against it is empathy. And I feel like if you want to be someone who, you know, have a voice against societal issues like this, you have to be speaking from the place of empathy. You have to actually have feelings, the human feelings, to feel like what is happening is wrong. I want to correct this. I want to fight against this. That's motivation. That's your motivation. If you're going into something because you feel like, oh my God, no, if I go into this, I can apply for this funding and get it. You're being selfish, and it defeats your whole purpose, because it means that you're not doing this because you care about what is happening to your fellow human being. You're just looking at it because of the gain you're going to get out of it. And these things are easy to spot by reviewers. It's easy to spot from interviewers as well. Because when they interview you, they're looking at these things. And many a times people just come and be like, oh my God, I came to the interview, I thought I did well, but they didn't select me and all that. These are the things that they look out for. These are the things that they want to know about you. Questions as simple as tell me about yourself. It's not really about you saying that, oh, I am so and so. I've won so and so awards. I've contributed in so and so. No, they can actually see this in your CV, because most of the applications you're going to be putting in, they'll require your CV. And I'm sure you would have listed all this in your CV. And before you step into that room of the interview, they will definitely must have reviewed your CV. They will know that, okay, this is what you do, this is what you are up to. So they don't want you to just repeat everything they've known before. And I'm going to tell you, when I traveled to South Africa at first in October last year for the scholarship interview, because if you're shortlisted for the Mandela Rhodes Foundation Scholarship, they are going to pay for you to come to South Africa. They're going to cover everything. It's just for you to show up, because they believe in in-person interviews. Only if you have, another engagement that's not workable for them, that's when they'll settle for online. But usually it's in person. So the first thing they told me was that please try not to repeat what we already know. Try not to tell us what you know you've said in your essay or in your CV. And that was tricky because I was thinking to myself that okay, like while I was, facing the panelists before the interview actually started, when they were saying all that, in my head I was like, okay, if you don't want me to say, if you don't want me to say everything I've written in my essays, then what do you want me to say again? Do you want me to start telling you the best food I like, or I like jollof rice and chicken or something? It was kind of funny to me, but thank God that I was able to decode, the hidden intent behind what they were saying. So what they actually meant was that they want to hear more about your motivation. Behind this CV, who are you? Behind all these accomplishments, what is the thing that drives you? You understand? So yeah. So let me just quickly go over the pillars of the foundation. Pillars of the foundation are four things. That's leadership, reconciliation, education, and entrepreneurship. For those that are just joining us, this is just a template. The MRF scholarship is actually ongoing. For those of us that don't know, Mandela Rhodes Foundation Scholarship, it's actually ongoing. The applications are ongoing. It's going to end on the 14th of April. So if you're interested in applying, please do put in an application. If you want me to help you review or direct to someone who can help you review, you can search me up on LinkedIn and send me a message or send me my WhatsApp number there. Yes. So, but again, this is just a template for you to know how scholarships work because it's usually in a similar pattern. For Mandela Rhodes Scholarship, they have four core principles or four core pillars. Leadership. And the kind of leaders they are looking for, leaders with moral authority that are committed to serving others and creating lasting impact. Leadership, as it should be, should not be about what you can gain. Rather, it should be on how you're able to impact people. Again, it's not about what you can gain, it's about how you're going to be able to impact people. And that's what they are looking for. They're looking for leaders who have taken steps to actually be helpful to other people. And at this point, I want to say something because many people get it wrong when it comes to what leadership is about. Okay, for the scholarship, I'm going to share the link before the end of this call, the criteria and everything. Now, the criteria, you're going to see the criteria soon, and the LinkedIn, just search Success Ndubuisi on LinkedIn, you're going to see it. So coming back to what I was saying, many people confuse the concept of leadership. Some people feel like for them to be qualified as a leader, they have to have held a post. They have to have held a position. They feel like, okay, if I'm not having this position of student union president, financial secretary, NUPSA, financial secretary, NUESA, chapel leader, something that has leader in the back. They feel like they don't qualify. Now, I'm not trying to say people who have those titles are not leaders. No. What I'm saying is that the concept of leadership is beyond the titles. You're not a leader because they call you a leader. Not to throw shades, but nowadays in Africa, we have leaders who are actually not leaders. We have presidents who are actually not leading. They're just there under the facade of democracy, but in essence, they are just authoritarians. They do what they want and they get away with it because they're not even looking at the interests of other people. So I believe that to a large extent, the concept of leadership has been defeated, when it comes to our political system. But I'm not here to, talk politics, but I'm just trying to give you an idea. You understand? So for leadership, as long as you have carried out a project, you have done something that have served the interest of an individual or a group of individuals aside yourself, that counts as leadership. It may be just one person that you have impacted. It may be 2 people, it may be 5 people, it may be 10. But the problem, the issue is what kind of impact have you left in the life of this person? You understand? How did you meet this person? How did you leave this person? How did you meet these people? How did you leave these people? What problem did you see? How did you solve it? In as much as you are able to answer these questions, trust me, you're a leader. I'll give you an example. Throughout my stay in school, I never held a leadership position, like the ceremonial leadership position. I was not, I think there was even an opening one time where there was a need for a departmental president, and people were like, oh, Success, hi. We know you are good academically. We think you'll be a good fit for this position. Won't you want to be president of the department? I just said no. Yeah, I told them no, that I don't think I want to be. I feel like I have enough on my plate already, and I don't want to add to that because I will not be able to function properly because I already have too much going on. So it's better you give it to someone who has the time. So throughout my stay in the university, I never held like a ceremonial leadership position, but that didn't stop me from doing my best to impact people. First of all, I noticed that there was a problem in my school when it comes to how much the first years are actually, catered for. And when I mean catered for, I mean like, for most of the first years in my school, it's very fast paced. You come from high school and you meet a very different system where the lecturers already, they appraise you to someone who has built, intellectual capacity that in truth, you have actually not. You understand? So they keep bombarding you with lectures, assignments, and this is for a first year that is just actually still trying to find their feet. Some of them are not even convinced that the course they are studying or the program they are in is actually the right one for them. And the system doesn't care. It's not bombarding you. You have to write tests, you have to write exams. So I identified this as a problem. What did I do? I tried to organize what was the word I used to call it now? Let me just call it a gathering. I'm looking for the exact grammar, but it's not coming to mind. Like a gathering where there's orientation, kind of orientation for this set of students to help them understand why they're actually in the department that they are, understand the career opportunities they can access in the department, help them understand the motivation, and also help them with tutorials. And personally, I was committed to tutoring like quite a number of people that, they're calling me the tutor master while in school. And why was I doing this? I was doing this because I didn't want people to experience what I experienced. Because when I was in school, when I was in my first year, I actually struggled. People who will not believe me because throughout my stay in school, I was on first class till I finished. But I struggled in my first year because the pace was too fast. I didn't know what to read, how to read, what to access, what to like to feel, like how to balance my social and academic life, all those things. So seeing this, and I was able to discover that, okay, this problem actually affected students in the sense that when they are not able to find their footing early, they struggle in academics and they end up with them failing. So when I saw this problem, identified it, I tackled it, I was able to see that their performance is improved, especially in my department. It improved by miles because many of them, all they needed was just the confidence to believe that they are actually where they are supposed to be. Some of them just needed to believe that they belong where they are. And yours might not exactly be the story I just shared. Yours might be the fact that in your community, illiteracy is high. And what you simply did was to buy textbooks and share to, the people in your community, or you identified that a certain group of people were marginalized against. When I mean marginalized, I feel like they have this stereotype against them, but then you started encouraging people on an individual level to see people beyond their skin color, see people beyond their tribe or the stereotypical aspect of them, and make them relate with them on the basis of their humanity. That's you being a leader. You understand? So leadership is a concept that it goes way beyond just the title in itself. So other pillars of transformation for, let me say, core pillars of the foundation is reconciliation. They have the education. The education here just means that you have to be academically strong, and which is why excellence is something that I preach for so much. I believe that you can excel because you have the capacity to. Excellence is something that you should embrace. For the Mandela Rhodes Foundation, you need to have like a 70% or higher. That's like a second class upper or higher to be able to apply, because they believe that you have to be academically sound to, want to further in postgrad and all, and even in respect of academic and application processes and everything. Which also points back to the fact that for you to actually lead, you must be showing that example as well. If you want to impact a community where bullying is no longer a thing, where assault, where misogyny or segregation is no longer a thing, you must not be practicing it yourself, because I see this quite a lot, and I find it hypocritical. For instance, now you are fighting against segregation on the basis of race. You're saying, okay, people should not be racist. People should not be judgmental on the basis of race. And then you are judgmental on the basis of tribe. You understand? That's just like you are very, very hypocritical, because you're like, okay, do what I say, but don't do what I do. You get? So that's the basis of leadership and leading by example. And also another popular is entrepreneurship, where you can drive innovation, creativity, and whatnot. So what I tried to explain with that slide is the fact that for each scholarship, whatever it is, there's Erasmus, there's Mandela Rhodes, there's MasterCard, there's Mind Scholarship, there's Education USA. There are quite a number of scholarships you can apply for. The first thing you should be doing before quickly typing in your name and typing your essay and clicking on submit is to go to the website of that scholarship. Search them up on Google. It's going to provide the official website. Go to the website, go to About Us, the About Us tab, click on it, or About Us page, whatever. Click on it and read about them. Most foundations, they usually leave what they are about on their page for everybody to access. Not just for you that want to apply for their scholarship, but also for funders, for volunteers, and whatnot. You understand? So read up on them, understand what they are for, what they stand for, and how you as a person align with those values. I believe that the reason why most people get rejected when it comes to scholarships, when it comes to funding, is because they apply blindly. A lot of people, they try to shoot sporadically. They try to shoot at anything that flies, with the hope that one of them will hit the target. Sometimes you may be lucky, but most times that's not a good strategy, because you shoot sporadically, and your first 10 shots, maybe it lands on an innocent a tortoise that is swimming in the river or something, and that's not your target. And then by the time you have exhausted 10 shots and you're going to 20 shots, you are starting to get frustrated because you feel like at the end of the day, you're putting effort, you're not seeing the result, then you give up eventually. You understand? So I believe that being strategic when it comes to application matters a lot. You have to identify if the application you're putting in is meant for you. And it's a good thing we have AI. You can prompt the AI that, okay, you are someone of so age group. This is what you're working on. This is your discipline. Tell it to identify opportunities that are meant for you or that you can apply for. It's going to list it for you. And then you can take down those opportunities and try to read up on them again and apply. Okay, so for the eligibility criteria for Mandela Rhodes, for instance, now, first of all, you must be from an African country. Your age, you must be from either within the ages of 19 to 29. If you are currently 29, you can apply as long as you're not 30 yet. Even if you are turning 30 in May, you can still apply, because before the scholarship loses, you're not at 30, so you still qualify. I hope you understand. Then you must have results of 70% and above, as I mentioned earlier. Then you must be able to communicate in English, because your courses and the leadership program has to be in English. And for those of us that missed the age target, I'm sorry about that. I believe that there are actually other opportunities that does not care about age. I can mention some. I think there's the PEC-PG scholarship. It's fully funded scholarship from Brazil that you can apply for. I think for postgrad, the age limit is 40 years. I don't know if there's any person that is 40 years on this call, because I don't know if I can get any scholarship that that is for those above 40. Yeah. So yeah, there's the PG. There's also the Czech Republic scholarship. I think that one is closed. It opens, towards the end of the year. Czech Republic. I just hope that people are taking it down. Just saying this off the top of my head. Czech Republic, that's CZECH, pronounced as Czech Republic Government Scholarship. That one also, it has a postgrad element to it. I think the age limit is 40 years as well. There's also the Australian Excellence Scholarship. There's also, yeah, there are quite a number. I can't fully remember all off the top of my head, but there are quite a number. But yeah, I'm sure if you look for, you definitely see most that you are qualified for. Yeah. So like I mentioned earlier, I'm not using this as the only template. I'm just giving this. Okay, someone's raising up their hand. Please go ahead. And also, before that person speaks, if you have a question at any point while I'm speaking, because I know that time is of the essence, you can just quickly raise up your hand to ask a question. So, Ramlas, please ask your question, please.
Okay, good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for the wonderful opportunity. I sent a screenshot to the group chat, so I don't know if it's something you can check out, because I was checking out the website and seeing if I can see some things to ask questions on for now. So I sent a screenshot on how to go about that, because they're like, I need a permission or stuff like that. So I needed to send a screenshot for you to see.
Okay.
So
First of all, I'm not on your group chat, so I don't know. I've not seen
okay, should
that
I
before.
resend the message?
Yeah, you can. You can. Yeah, I think Zoom allows for uploading screenshots. I don't know, probably.
Okay, let me resend.
Yeah, but while we're waiting for you, Faith or Aduneta, please ask your question. I'll just take two more questions before I just continue with my presentation.
I'll send it again, sir.
Oh, sure.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity and thank you so much. It's so enlightening. The question I want to ask is this: for international conferences, there are certain requirements like IELTS and how do we maneuver that and apply for such? I heard you mention something about Rosula Foundation. I'm currently
Yeah.
on scholarship with Rosula Foundation. Yes, so it's actually a great pleasure hearing from you. Concerning the international conferences, how is it going to be possible to take account later on?
Okay. So one thing I picked up while applying for scholarships is that there's always a wiggle room in as much as you ask the right questions. I can give an example. If you want to apply for schools in the US, for us in Nigeria now, we cannot apply to the US because of some unforeseen circumstances. But yeah, while we were eligible, there will always be a request for application fees. Yes. And even with that, you can always write to the school and tell them that, oh, yeah, you are actually from so background, you can't, afford it. And they'll give you a waiver. Some of those waivers are not actually publicized, but once you contact their international office or their fees office or whatever it is, they give you that waiver. It's the same thing with IELTS. Sometimes they do have wiggle room, because if your mode of instruction from your school was English, like you studied in English and you graduated in English, there's something called letter of proficiency that most universities offers. I know my school offer it. I don't know about all schools, but I know it's something that is a thing. You can reach out to your school, request for that proficiency letter that you completed your degree in English. Once you get it, you can attach that with your email. Like when you're sending an email to the international conference organizer telling them that, oh, you want to plead your case about IELTS and the rest, you can attach that as proof that you actually studied English. And another thing you can use is your WAEC results. WAEC is like West African Examination Council, for those who are not familiar. It's taken in high school. So you can use that as well. If you scored like a B grade, A1 or whatever, you can use it as a proof that you're actually quite proficient in English. I don't know if I answered your question. So always send emails. Like I think last year was the year that I actually discovered the amazing things that emails can do for you. You understand? Even down to visa. You know, people sometimes are actually quite scared to mail. I'm not saying you should do it though, because I don't know whether it's grace that worked for me, but you can try. It's like when my visa was delaying, I wrote to the visa office and told them that my visa should be expedited because it's actually time sensitive. And within the next 2 days, I got my visa. So it's something that you just have to know how to present your case. Don't be rude, always be polite, attach all supporting documents that you need to plead your case. And sometimes you just end up lucky, because I feel like they just want to be sure that you can speak English. And in as much as you're proficient in English, you're good to go. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really do appreciate. But I'm studying medicine and I'm still in school.
Okay. I think in that case, you can actually use your WIC result then. I don't know if you took WIC, you can use it, UNECO, whatever it is, but just send an email, like I said, send an email.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem. You're welcome. All right. So I'm going to take one more question. Then for the rest people, I would give the floor open for questions. Um, after the end of the call. But before I proceed, even when you want to have this wiggle room, sometimes it's just better to just take these exams because it saves you from quite a number of stress. I know that most times it's quite expensive, but sometimes it just helps a lot to save you from a lot of wahala. So, Gifts, please, you could ask a question.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody.
Hi. Yeah.
At some point, I was kicked off by the network, but my question is this, anyways. How does certifications help you in your quest for getting a scholarship? Not just certification in the field of study, but certification in
Yeah.
like area of interest.
Okay. So to answer that question, it actually depends on the kind of scholarship you're applying for. If you're applying for a scholarship that is based on research, yeah, that you want to further your studies based off research, then certifications become necessary. And one thing I do advise is that don't take up certificates just for the sake of it. You have to be intentional about it. You can't be studying one thing and then just be taking sporadic certifications in just anything because somebody says, "Oh, this is available." No, because one thing that PIs look for, PI means principal investigator. If you're applying for research-based scholarship, it's a term you will hear quite often. When they are reviewing your code email and your CV, and then they see the section of certifications, they want to see a connection between what you studied, what you want to study, and then the certificates you picked up. Do you understand? How will the certifications you have help in your study? For instance, now you can pick up courses on R, you can pick up courses on data analysis, you pick up courses on public health, and when you bring all this together, and your postgrad is maybe on epidemiology or disease control, whatever it is it wants to be, they can see like an alignment. You understand? So certifications actually help, but it's something that you have to be deliberate about in making sure that they actually align with what you are seeing yourself doing in the next couple of years. And truly, you can also pick up certificates in, something you want to work for. Because maybe you're studying medicine, but you are interested in tech. Obviously, you can pick certificates that will help you in that regard. But when you're putting in applications for something that's academia related, you have to make sure that every single thing on your CV is pivotal to your application. It's aligning with your interests, aligning with your goals, aligning with what you want to study. I don't know if you understand what I mean. I don't know if that answers your question as well. Okay, I'll take that as a yes. Okay, one last question before I go back to my slide because there's no more time here. I'm sorry, I'm just going to call you Peace. Peace, please, you can ask a question.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Peace. Thank you so much for this session. Well, my question is, well, I'm currently in school. I'm in 200 level, and I want to ask that, is there any opportunities for undergraduates? Yes, my question.
Oh yeah, there are lots of opportunities for undergraduates. I'm glad you asked because I'm sorry because I took that as a given that many of us here will be familiar with undergraduate opportunities, and I'm sorry for assuming. So for those of us that are undergrads, for Nigeria, I know of quite a number of scholarships. There's RTF, Rhodes Educational Foundation. Okay, just to reply to the person I just dropped it on the chat, PEC, PG, PEC, then a hyphen and PG. Just type that PEC hyphen PG scholarship. You'd see the application link will pop up for you. So there's Rhodes Educational Foundation, there's FSB, which is Federal Scholarship Board. That one is offered by the Nigerian federal government. There's WMI, which is open to Africans, stands for Wells Mountain Initiative. The scholarship, I think it offers $1,500 per year. Yeah, there is Total Energies. I just hope you are taking it down. The Total Energies. There is NMPC scholarship. There is Bridge scholarship. There is that just the list is exhaust. I can't even exhaust it because that there's so much. So and you being in 200 level and whoever it is that's also in 200 level here or 300 level, I believe that most scholarships are actually favorable to you guys because they believe that okay, you're not yet at the end of your study, so you can apply. You understand? So what you need to do is to make sure that you are able to put in a strong application, you're able to get your transcript ready, you are on a 2-1 or the first class, even if you're in a 2-2, you can apply. Like for FSB now, you can apply even if you're on a 2-2. You just have to pray to be lucky. And you have to make sure that your essay is good. And I think that's the part I'll be talking about in once I'm done with the question. So, but yes, there are a lot of scholarships that are available for undergrads. So you can just type and ask for a full comprehensive list. So yes, so I'm going to continue with my presentation now. So I'm not going to be strictly following the slide. So what I want to talk about now is drafting your essays because I understand that this is a struggle for most people. They struggle with drafting your essays. Before I continue with that, please, for those that still have questions, immediately I'm done with the with what I'm talking about now, you can easily just put up your hand up again, and I'll be sure to respond to you. Okay, so drafting essays is something that most people struggle with. Number one, most people are not confident about what they are going to even write. They'll be like, Success. Honestly, writing is not my calling. I've heard that like 1 million times. And sometimes when they say it, I ask myself whether because I finished from a science class. So it's not as if I'm a poet or a someone that studied English in school. I'm just someone that just builds my
This thing is disconnected. Please give me.
okay. I'm just someone that builds my confidence in writing just by writing and writing and writing.
Sorry, Favor, please mute yourself. Favor, please mute yourself. We can't hear.
So sorry,
Okay.
Success. So sorry. I'm
No,
so
no, no, no,
sorry.
no. It's fine.
Let me meet them now, right?
It's fine.
Queen, I've told you can next time. Please, when you come online, like when you join the call, just meet yourself. Yeah, so done.
All right, so I hope everybody can see hear me.
Yes, please, we can. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
so
Sorry.
yeah, no problem. So as I was saying, essays is actually something that constitutes problems because a lot of people that have ideas but they don't know how to present it. So a general idea for how I like to present it, and this is not just specific to any scholarship, it's general, like any scholarship you want to apply for at all, it's a tip that I think is definitely going to help you. So number one, before you put pen to paper to write a personal statement, because Personal statements, statement of purpose are things that you're going to come across a lot when it comes to applying for scholarship. They're going to ask you, write a personal statement, write a statement of purpose. These terms are used interchangeably. So if you have to write a personal statement, what they are simply asking you to do is tell us about your life in relation to this scholarship. Sounds simple, yeah, but in real sense, it's a bit extensive. So what I like to do is to give a background to where I'm coming from. Connect that background to what led to my motivation to study what I am studying, you know. Then from there, I'll link that motivation to my performance in class and in school in general. And then I progress into my extracurricular activities, what I'm doing outside school. And then I progress into what I want to continue doing, like in the continuous tense. And lastly, how the scholarship is going to contribute to my vision. So these four things I just mentioned are what you should always think about when you're answering or writing an essay. Number one, think about the backstory. What is the motivating factor that made you who you are, or that is making you who you are? You understand? For most people in Nigeria, it's usually their financial background. They feel like, oh, I came from a financial, disadvantaged background. This made me, treat education with so much importance because I felt like education is the key to which I can unlock my world, this and that. This gave me the motivation to study this in class, whatever it is. For some, it may not be finances. For some, it's an occurrence. It might be a life story, something that happened in their family. Okay, let's say for instance now, you may be someone that has lost a family member to cancer or to sickle cell, whatever it is, and this gave you motivation when you were young to want to know more. For me studying microbiology now, I can use, or let me say that studied microbiology in my undergrad. Right now, I'm not doing anything really, really related to microbiology. Yeah, but my undergrad, I studied microbiology. So for me, I can give an example that, okay, while I was in the lockdown during the Ebola virus, I was intrigued at how an organism that could not even be seen could put the whole world on a standstill. I was intrigued by that fact, and it motivated me to want to know more about, how these things works. It gives you like an inquisition on how to know, like you want to know how this thing works. And it influenced my decision to study microbiology in 2018 at so university. And having this inquisition, it was easy to retain passion, which led to me committing to my studies. Then you can say, okay, this paid off as I graduated at the top of my class with a CGPA of 4.79 out of 5.0, having had a perfect GPA of 5.0 three times in a row, a recipient of the VC's Award of Excellence three times, being on the VC's list for 10 semesters in a row. So what I'm just doing right now is I'm trying to sell myself, but how I'm selling myself is in the regard of motivation. You understand? One mistake most people will make is that they just start their essay and be like, "Oh, I'm an outstanding student. I've done this and that," and it starts to look as if they are bragging. They are just listing all their achievements, and it starts to look as if you are bragging. I'm not saying you should be vocal about your achievements, but presentation matters a lot. It's the same thing with leadership. If you don't know how to present your impact that you've done, it starts to look as if you are actually doing this just for the fame, you're doing this just for people to know you, and things like that, which is not what you're trying to communicate. So what I suggest, always give a backstory and split it into paragraphs. So I'm going to come to that. But generally, for those that are writing or taking notes, if you want to write an essay, split it in paragraphs. First paragraph, what I like to do, first paragraph, talk about my education. The first paragraph, talk about education, because I know that word count is crazy. 500 word counts most times. Some might be generous and give you 750. But 500 word counts is what is usually the ideal amount of words to ask you to write. Some might even say 200, like my Michael Taiwo scholarship. They'll say 200. So you have to express everything you want to talk about in 200 words. You understand? Even a scholarship, getting a scholarship is 200 words. So it just depends on the scholarship you're applying for. But the idea I like to use, my first paragraph is talk about my education. The linkage between my experience, how that motivated me to go into my course of study or to prioritize education in general, how I used that motivation to commit to my studies, and how it paid off. And when I mentioned how this motivation paid off, that's when I started to list my achievements. Oh, I've done this, I've done that. So once they are seeing that, they are seeing strength from struggle. And I can tell you for a fact that scholarship committees love that a lot. They like an underdog story. They like a story that is born out of personal experience. They love something they can relate to. You understand? They want to know that where you are right now is because you had like a motivation from where you're coming from up until where you are right now. They want to see that. So they want to hear that story. That's why storytelling is pivotal when it comes to your essay. So that's for the first paragraph. Then your second paragraph, you may start to deviate from school a bit. You're still talking about your school, but you're not still talking about academics. That's another mistake you should avoid. When you are talking about academics, make sure that academics is what you talk about and end in that paragraph. When you're moving to the second paragraph, you're not carrying that same idea from the first paragraph into another paragraph. You make sure that you give each paragraph an idea. The first paragraph should talk about education and academics. Second paragraph should talk about your leadership. The third paragraph should talk about what you aim to do. Sometimes it may be like how you aim to contribute to the country you're going to, and how you use what you've learned when you're coming back to your home country. And then your final paragraph would then be to talk about how the scholarship is going to help you. So your second paragraph, I'm trying to be fast now. So your second paragraph, now after you talk about academics, you talk about what you do outside of school. Here you can start to mention your leadership positions you've held, and I would suggest don't just start listing the leadership positions you've held. Talk about the problems you've solved. Even if you want to mention the title, you can phrase it like this: as the student's head in so and so, I was responsible for solving this problem in this way and yielding such results. Okay, there's something called the STAR framework. STAR, like the STAR you're familiar with, STAR. There's a STAR framework, and I usually recommend this whenever it comes to writing essays and putting out your ideas, especially when it comes to leadership. The S stands for situation. Situation means that as a leader or in your capacity, what was the problem that you saw? What was the issue that you identified? It might not be in school, maybe in your community. What was the issue that you identified? The T stands for task, meaning that what were your objectives? What did you have to do in relation to this problem? Like when you started thinking about solving this problem, what are the things you knew you had to do? The A stands for action, meaning what did you do? It may be you, it may be a relation in collaboration with an organization or whatever it is, bearing in mind that, okay, sometimes leadership is not just you standing alone, you might be working with an organization, maybe working with another initiative. Action, what were you able to do? Then the result is what were you able to achieve from your actions. I hope that makes sense. So when you phrase it in that moment, it makes sense. So let's talk about let me identify an example right now. Okay, so if you want to talk about how you've helped in aspect of education now in your community, you can say, okay, in my community, I was able to identify that there were high rates of dropout, like there were high dropout rates due to cultism, due to influence, with substances and all that. That was the problem you identified. You identified that your students dropped out of high school a lot because of, influence. What were you able to do? That's a task. We were able to identify that for you to solve this problem, you have to sensitize these students as regards the benefits of school, make school enticing to them again, tell them about the dangers of, substance use, the dangers of cultism and all that. The action, how were you able to do it? You can mention that in collaboration with so foundation, in collaboration with so, and if it's your own foundation, you can say, um, uh, through my foundation, I was able to organize sensitization programs, awareness campaigns. I was able to provide, little scholarship for students to bring them back to school, and provided them with a network or a community network that would monitor their growth, their progress, and whatever it is. And then the result you now mention is, as a result of my initiative, about 50 students from, you can say, Igbesere community or whatever community it is, returned back to school and are currently excelling in their studies. You see what I've done there? You have sold the idea to whoever it is that's reading your essay that, number one, you are someone who is a problem solver. Number two, you're someone who is specific in terms of identifying what they want to do. Number three, it shows that you're collaborative, meaning that you don't want to just take all glory for yourself. You're looking out for people. You want to work with people to achieve a goal. And number four, that you are actually showing the fruits of your leadership. I hope I make sense, because that's exactly how you have to present anything when it comes to leadership potential, leadership abilities. Don't just list. Don't just list. I served so. I served in so. I was responsible for. No, they don't want to hear responsibilities, because anybody can make that up. Anybody can make it up and say, okay, like right now I can say I was the one that helped Elon Musk to launch to space. You know, I can say that, but where is the proof? You understand? They need they need a proof. They need the fact. They need something that they can bank on to believe you, and which is why I'm going to teach you a trick right now when it comes to presenting your essay. So there's something I usually do when writing my essay, especially when it comes to leadership. So once I'm done with talking about all these things I've said. I put in brackets, I create a hypertext or a hyperlink rather. So I'm going to type that in the chat, hyperlink. That was called. It's called a hyperlink, meaning that you can write a text and then embed a link within that text. I'm sure most of us would have seen it in on websites, where they will say apply here, and then when you click on that text, apply here, it takes you to another web page. So it's the same thing. You can apply it in your essays as well. You can so one thing before I come to this, one thing, always take pictures. Take pictures. Whenever it is, even if you are not going to post them on social media because you are afraid of being too visible or whatever, which I would not really advise, because you are doing this not for yourself. In as much as you know that your intentions are clear, take pictures. As long as you get the permission of those you are taking the pictures of, take pictures. Let there be proof. If it's something that's proven by a certificate you got, collect that certificate, scan it, keep it on your phone. So what we want to do, once you have gathered all these pictures as evidences of your work, create a folder on Google Drive or OneDrive, depending on if you're using Google Workspace or Microsoft. Microsoft is OneDrive, Google Workspace is Google Drive. Create a folder on Google Drive and name it with your name and then hyphen the name of the scholarship. And in that folder, put in the pictures that contains the evidence of your work. Change the settings to allow everyone to view it, copy the link of that Google Drive, and then in that that text that you put, that is okay, you can use something like see here or here, but you just make sure that you give like a linking word to connect to what you want to say. Like, okay, as a result of my work, I was able to impact social and social people who were able to go back to school and are excelling in their studies. You can now put in brackets, see here. Then you embed the link inside there, meaning that when the reviewer gets to that point of your essay, they click on that link, they go to your Google Drive, and they are wowed. And sometimes, that may just be what they need to see to award you that scholarship. Once they see that, they just feel like, my God, this guy is good. This guy is good. They keep scrolling and keep scrolling and keep scrolling. And you're like, nah, I'm good. Most sometimes, some people, because I have the experience when I'm interviewing someone, because I actually had the privilege of interviewing scholarship applicants for a foundation as well. There are sometimes you just get to a point in the scholarship interview, I'll be like, nah, I'm going to give this guy the scholarship, or no, this person does not qualify. Maybe the person might just say one thing that will disqualify you in your head, or person may say one thing and you'll be like, no, this guy is good. So you want to have that wow factor that once they click that link and they enter into your Google Drive, they are wowed. So that's the trick I'm going to share. So the rest of the essay, you can just talk about what you envision for the future. You have talked about your academics, you have talked about what you're currently doing in terms of impact, in terms of your community involvement. So building on this foundation, what are you going to be doing in the future? How are you going to improve? Because the scholarship have to see that there's a space for them to help. You understand? Don't make it seem as if you have everything figured out and the scholar you're just using the essay to tell them about everything you have done. Give that gap where they can feel like they can come in to support you. You can use words like, however, or looking forward to the future. I envision to do this. I envision to take a step further in my foundation. I envision to establish this. You might want to build like partner initiatives, or you identify like a linking problem that you feel like you can also move into. Give that space of what you envision in the future, and then from there you can now say, okay, the so and so foundation, that's the name of the scholarship, will help me in this regard by providing mentorship, funding, whatever it is, to be able to take this huge next step in my academic career. You have to just make sure that you leave a space for them. They have to feel needed. It's just like you are talking to somebody, you're trying to pitch to a businessman now, yeah, and everything you are saying, you're just talking about the advantages. You don't want to present a problem. The businessman will be like, oh yeah, that's such a nice product. Thank you for coming. And they'll just be like, but sir, I need your funding. You're like, oh really, you did? I didn't know. Because you didn't make it obvious to them that you actually need the funding. So you just have to make sure that in your conclusion, either maybe in your third paragraph or in your last paragraph, you make sure that you show them that you need them. So with that, I come to the end of my presentation. So I'll be taking questions now, because I feel like talking about the essay is the major thing that I came here to do today, because that's the backbone of any application, whether it's scholarship, fellowship, grants, research, whatever it is. Just have to make sure that when you write, you know how to present your ideas clearly, you know how to convince the reader, because they are not seeing your face. Well, the only thing they have access to is what you put down. So you have to maintain that clarity. You understand? So with that, I'm sure you're on your way to getting that funding and getting that scholarship, whatever it is you're doing. So
Thank you
thank you
so
very much.
Thank you so much, Success. Thank you so much. Thank you, Queen. So please, this is our emoji to say thank you to our speaker. Oh my God, me myself, I've learned a lot. Like seriously, yes, I've learned a lot. Don't go to them as if you've figure it all out. Yes, let them see a gap they can help. Your motivation should be true. Take pictures and evidence that you can add as a support to your application. Like so much wisdom from today's section. Yes. Yeah, so I'm really like glad for you people that are present today. So thank you so much. So now we're moving to yes, really insightful. Yes. So please, I'll be dropping his LinkedIn again. Yeah. So we know the deal, right? we know the drill. So post about how you were, how the session went for you, how the session was so insightful for you. Take pictures if you have not, and then post on LinkedIn and make sure you tag our speaker for today. So I'll be posting his LinkedIn again for those of us that just joined that does not have it. Yes, I'll be getting his LinkedIn and posting it again right now. So please. Yes, so we have 10 minutes. Is it 10 minutes or 5 minutes? Yes, because time has gone already. So we have like 5 minutes to take questions. So I'll be giving 3 people the opportunities to raise up their hands and ask our trainer questions. So the first 3 persons, yeah, someone has been raising their hand up like even when the section was still on, but it's not Louisiana. Yeah, but Queen, if you have question, raise up your hand. So Success, yeah, use the floor now to take questions. Yes. You
All
can call
right.
those that is or just 3 and then we'll close.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Success. Please let me have this question. Please let me answer them. How do
Okay,
we
okay,
have
sure.
the idea of this project to our CV? Yes, yes, yes. So in your CV, there's a section for volunteering in your CV or leadership. Yes. So you can either put it in your leadership or voluntary. So if you are putting it in your leadership, you are putting it as an ambassadors. Yes, Africa Agility ambassadors, and then this is what you do. Yes, this is what you do. And as a you can also add as a volunteer too, as an ambassador, volunteer, etc. like that. And then as you mentioned, pictures and video is very, very important. So I'll be sharing my own little experience too in using my works at Africa Agility and my experience as a top 100 Africa future leaders. What we do recently to to get a scholarship, right? A scholarship. So basically what helped me in getting the scholarship, number one, I would say God, and number two, I was able to tell my story well about a project that I executed as a top 100 African future leader. So they were so, they were so happy about it. In fact, that made me get called for an interview. And during the interview, all what they're asking of is evidence, like you said. So and then I directed them to my LinkedIn. Thank God I posted about it, yes, on my LinkedIn. So right on that call, the interview, I sent them my LinkedIn profile and they actually went there and were like, wow, wow, this is great, this is great. So you see the reason why you need to post about it. The reason why I keep telling you, please post this on your LinkedIn, on your socials. All these will like it will help you in also getting those sponsor, even though like you were not later selected at the end, but the job of being interviewed, so that you are getting there. Before you know it, when we click, hey, you guys understand now. Yeah, so that's that about that. So all right. So yes, yes. So yeah, so Mr. Success, sorry, Success, yeah. You have the floor again. Sorry about that.
All right. So I'll just be taking the questions. Luciana, please, kindly go ahead with your question.
Okay, good afternoon, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
Yeah,
can.
thank you so much for this session. I really, really appreciate. I learned a lot. Okay, I'm actually a graduate for like 2 years now. I'm working, and scholarship has been one of the things that I've been trying to apply for. That's why I'm grateful for this session. I started last year, but I just took the first step trying to get my students' transcripts and all of that. But I just stepped back because currently, yes, I'm on AGIT 9.0 cohort. Someone that is transitioning to tech, and before I was like I'm into science, but I want to transition into tech. So I'm currently training on data analytics, and it's something that I've seen that I want to take further to like the master's level. So, and I don't really know like the niche I can use. Like I've not really, I feel a lot of scholarship platforms and all of that, but I've not really had the time to look into it to know exactly what I need. So I don't know if you can maybe briefly just give me an advice, because I'm thinking of, okay, maybe let me wait till I finish my training on data analytics, or maybe let me have ground on data analytics, or maybe have an internship job before I can go ahead. for my master's application. So I don't know if you can help me with like an advice or anything that can. Yeah, that's my question.
Okay, I don't know if you mentioned it, but could you mention like what you studied in school? Because now you're mentioning traditional institute, but like,
Okay,
what do you study in school? Like, what did you study
I studied medical biochemistry.
in medical biochemistry? Brilliant. So
Yes.
I think data analytics it's something that will actually be beneficial to you even in grad school because when you get to grad school, actually you discover that most of the things that you're running with, whether coding or programming, sometimes you just find yourself inside there. I think I'm currently in that boat right now, and I'm thankful to God that at least I forced myself to learn some of those things. So I think for you, I don't think you have to stop one to start another, or start one to stop another. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. I think these two things are what you can do simultaneously. You can keep building yourself while applying for opportunities because you can't actually wait to figure everything out in your life before you start putting yourself out there because trust me, the human mind is insatiable. You constantly feel that there's something that will disqualify you. So you suddenly feel that, you might not be enough. And I can tell you this from experience because even when I finished school in 2025 last year, um, I was thinking of NYSC. And then I was like, okay, why do I want to go to NYSC? Everybody here, I'm not saying this because I'm saying NYSC is bad. NYSC is a great program. I believe that it has lost its essence, but it's still a great program. So I was thinking about it and I was like, okay, I don't want to go to NYSC. My parents were against the idea, but I just told them that I think I want to do something else with my life. And when I started applying for scholarships, I was getting rejections. I put in application for Education USA. I got shortlisted for the interview. You know, I didn't get in the program. You understand? And then I got a tech job. I started working a job. I started getting a bit comfortable, but then I remember that, I don't want to get comfortable in this because I want to leave. Yeah. So I kept on putting in the effort, and trust me, this imposter syndrome, for once in a while, it comes in and be like, bro, the thing you're actually even this thing you're applying for, do you know the qualifications of other people that are actually putting in for this thing? But I didn't let that deter me. I just make sure that each application I'm definitely putting in my best. So I would say the same thing for you, that in as much as you want something, go for it. Definitely, I've shared all these tips with you, but it's not really going to be a smooth sail because you still have to try and try and try and try again. I remember when I got invited for the interview at the US Embassy, then I was so ecstatic. I was like, God, I'm going to the US, my God. And then I did the interview and I didn't pass. And then I remember locking myself in a room and I cried. I was like, God, you see because I did not pray, because I won't fasted for like 3 days. And I was like, it was actually discouraging. Yeah. But you just have to keep on going for what you want. So I think that's something you should do. Identify what you want, make a plan, and application periods take a while, to be honest. The application periods can move like 3 months, 4 months, because even Mandela Rhodes Foundation, the application period is quite long. You go through like 3 stages: round one by May, round two by June, round three by July. Then you get shortlisted for the interview by August. You get flown in for the interview by October. And then 1 week later, you know whether you get the scholarship or not. So it's a very emotionally intensive application. So within those months that you're putting in your application, I'm sure you must have finished your program, you must have finished, whatever internship it is, even if you want to be on an internship within those periods, it's something you can go ahead. So I believe that you can do two things progressively. You don't have to really stop your life just to focus on one thing. You can actually do two things, and hopefully it works out for you. I don't know if that's clear enough.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please, one more question.
Yeah.
I usually see fellowships. I don't really know. And when you were explaining, I got lost in when you what is really all about. And is it compulsory for you to have that? you want to make an application like the scholarship applications and maybe leadership applications and all of that. Is that fellowship, is it something that is necessary or compulsory?
Okay. First of all, it's not compulsory. Fellowships are more like programs in which they gather a group of people, or they select, rather, not gather, select a group of people for a specific theme, probably on climate issues, on sustainable agriculture, on, environmental problems, on research, whatever it is, there are quite a number of fellowship. There's one that opened. I don't even know how to pronounce the name of the university. I think it's Chulalongkorn University in Thailand. It's like one of the leading universities in Asia. They organize like a research fellowship for those that are into library information science. Basically, you just come there for 6 months to do research and go back to your home country. So they pay for everything, your visa, your flights. You just come. What you're doing is to come and contribute to the research that is going on in your country. For some other fellowship programs, it's more about pressing issues like societal issues. You understand? So it's not really compulsory, but it's something that's good to have in your portfolio. There's a conference coming up in Cape Town by November. It's called the One Young World conference, and it's something that you have to that it's purely on invitation and you have to apply for. You get so that you can call that a fellowship as well, because in that summit, it's One Young World Summit. In that summit, you meet leaders from all over the world, where you get to talk about issues pertaining to your country and global issues as well. So the platform that gives you, it's something that honestly it's great, and you get to interact with people, network with people, and it's something that, yeah, it's just good to have. Yeah, so some are funded, some are not funded, some are partially funded. So it depends on what you want. So yeah, it's that why I didn't make mention of it, because when it comes to global opportunities, scholarships are usually the best bet. Scholarships are more fellowships rather are more like short term. You understand? So yeah.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thanks so much, Success. Sorry.
You're welcome. So do you have any other questions? I can't really see any other hand up. Okay. Is there any other question?
Settle, I think you can wind up now. Thank you.
Okay.
I
All
think
right.
there's
So there's no
no
other
other question.
question. No
Yeah,
other
no other
question.
question. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Yes.
You're welcome. All right. So thank you everybody for your time. I appreciate you for sticking around with me. I know I exceeded my time by quite a lot, and I apologize. I do hope that you learned something or two from this session, and yeah, do feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm really busy with research at the moment, but I promise to reply as much as I can. So thank you very much, and do enjoy the rest of your day.
Yes, really appreciate. Thank you, thank you. So, Queen, please let's use our hammer to say thank you and comment thank you in the Zoom chat. You've heard him more. He's a very, very busy person. So please take it easy on me. If you did not reply on time, I promise you my boss will reply to you, okay? So take it easy on my boss, please. Yeah, so thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Really appreciate. Thank you for your time. So we read it all. Yeah, so all right. So for the recording, should I release the recording? Should I not? Ah no.
Please release. Please share.
I should share.
Please release.
So
Please
they will have
share.
access to share.
Please do.
All right, no problem. I will.
Uh,
So
Thank you.
it says on Monday. No, Monday, Tuesday. Ah, oh God. Yeah. I'll share. I
Please,
will
do
look
we
for a
have
way to share.
attendance?
No, I said that this is like a thank you section for a great impact you get absorbed for IWD and for my special ambassadors. They know themselves. All of us are special, but some people are I don't want to say some people are dear to my heart, but they know themselves, yeah. the that went through the stress of becoming an ambassador, through the selection processes and everything. All right, so thank you so much, everyone. Like I'll repeat again, you guys are so
hello, can you hear me?
amazing. The impact we made together, I will repeat the number again, more than 5,600 people. By our collective efforts, we impacted more than 5,600 people. So amazing. Like you guys don't know what you've done. So thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. So as I said
Thank
earlier, for
you.
those that joined me, we'll be sending an impact report to those that sponsor us and to schools that we reach out to as a way of saying, you see, we do not just come here to waste time. This is what we do and everything like that. So the template will be shared out on latest when the holiday is over, maybe Monday or Tuesday, etc. like that. So please look forward to that. And then I wish everybody good.
Ma'am, please, the recording for this session.
I think she just dropped. There is no recording, by the way.
Oh, God.
She said she will
Yeah,
share
she
the
said she will
recording.
share.
There is
She said
recording, but there is no
it's
attendance. So, yeah.
no attendance, no recording, no slides. I mean, the slides were there.
There's
Okay, okay.
recording. There's
Yeah.
recording.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you
you.
so much.
Sorry, Queen, my network threw me out too. I'm so sorry. Okay, so as I said, yeah, so that's that about that. And I wish you guys good luck on your hackathon here. So yeah, so that's that about that. So all these things that I mentioned, all this fellowship, you need evidence. Like they need to see when yes, this person, we can see the action of a leader in this person. Sure you get. So as I said, I use myself as an example also. I was awarded a leader, like a African future leader, and what made me get this award because I've executed several numerous projects as simple as what you guys did, going to school, talk to them about digital skills, giving books and barrels to students during the exam period at the several occasions, even though my schedules are so tight. And this, when I put it out, like they see, oh yeah, this is good. And I've awarded a leader. So you guys see. So please, when next you see opportunities to make impact like this, please, I will advise you guys to what grab it because it's going to count in your next global opportunities application. All right. Bye everyone. Yes. Bye bye.
Thank
Goodbye.
you. Bye.
Thank you.
I love you.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye, Queens.
You too. Bye, Queen.